Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for September 12, 2025. Firstly, Iran's nuclear deal has taken a backseat as tensions rise between Tehran and the West over recent attacks on oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman. The situation is complex, with multiple players involved, but one thing is clear: the international community must work towards a peaceful resolution to this crisis. Secondly, Russia's aggression towards NATO is a serious concern that requires a united and robust response from the international community. Airspace violations by Russian drones have raised alarm bells among NATO leaders, who are urging restraint and diplomacy to resolve the situation. Lastly, the United States and Pakistan are poised for a potential reset in their relations, with Islamabad seeking to balance its economic and security interests between China and the U.S. A pragmatic coexistence between Washington and Beijing in South Asia may be the most achievable outcome, given India's limitations as a partner and hedge against China. These stories highlight the intricate geopolitics at play in various regions of the world. As we move forward, it will be essential to monitor developments and provide ongoing analysis of the evolving situations. The AI Daily Press will continue to bring you in-depth coverage of these critical issues, ensuring that our listeners remain informed and up to date on the latest developments. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press evening podcast. We'll be back with more news and analysis after this break. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then shall and know it's right now. Firstly, we've been following the developments in Gaza, where the humanitarian crisis continues to worsen. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are facing impossible choices as Israeli forces intensify their military campaign against Hamas. The United Nations and other humanitarian organizations have warned of a catastrophic hunger crisis, with reports of families struggling to survive on meager rations. In another story, we marked the anniversary of the September 11 attacks in New York, where families of the victims gathered to honor the nearly 3,000 lives lost. As we remembered the lives lost on that fateful day, we're also aware of the divided backdrop against which these memorial events are taking place, with rising political polarization and violence in the United States. Lastly, we touched on a contentious mayoral election in New York, where Socialist Democratic candidate Zoran Mamdani is facing off against former Governor Andrew Cuomo and sitting Mayor Eric Adams. The campaign has been marked by heated rhetoric, with President Donald Trump weighing in on the race. We also briefly discussed the situation surrounding the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah, which has added to the tensions and divisions within American society. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges facing our world today, from humanitarian crises to rising political tensions. We'll continue to follow these developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press evening podcast. Until next time, good evening and goodbye. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Good evening. I'm Louis, your host for the AI Daily Press evening podcast. Here's a brief summary of our top now for the latest in science and technology. Here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, a groundbreaking discovery has been made about the origins of Earth's oceans. Scientists at the University of Tokyo have found evidence that asteroids delivered water to our planet not only as hydrous minerals, but also as ice, which was preserved for over 1 billion years. This revelation challenges current theories and has significant implications for our understanding of the early solar system. In other news, Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, has announced plans to launch an enhanced version of its Starship rocket in 2026, which will boast a significantly larger payload capacity and be fully reusable. This major upgrade is a significant milestone in SpaceX's quest for reusability and could dramatically reduce the cost of accessing space. Finally, we've been following the story of condominium associations investing in bonds to keep pace with inflation, which could have significant implications for the housing market. While this may seem unrelated to our other stories, it highlights the interconnectedness of our world and the need to stay informed about the latest developments shaping our planet. As we gaze up at the stars, we're reminded of humanity's innate desire to push beyond the boundaries of what's thought possible. From the pursuit of reusability in space technology to the intersection of science, technology, and culture, these stories inspire us to continue exploring and learning about our world and the universe. Thank you for joining us on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay informed and keep exploring. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm your anchor, Howard, and tonight we're bringing you a brief summary of the latest news from the world of sports. First off, we have a major update from the NFL, where star pass rusher that's not correct. We actually have an update on the trade of star pass rusher Marcel. It's actually about Marcel Reed, the talented quarterback from Texas A&M, who's poised for a breakout season. Sources close to the program reveal that Reed has been working tirelessly with private quarterback coach Jeff Christensen to refine his throwing motion and improve his accuracy. In other news, we're coming down to the wire in Major League Baseball, where teams are fighting for a spot in the postseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers' star outfielder Mookie Betts is on fire, making a strong case for himself as one of the top players in the league. Meanwhile, the Seattle Mariners are riding high after their 5th consecutive win, and the Houston Astros and Texas Rangers are locked in a fierce battle for supremacy in the AL West. And finally, we have some news from the world of football, where quarterback Marcel Reed. Yes, I mentioned him earlier. But what's interesting is that his coach, Mike Elko, has expressed confidence in Reed's abilities, citing his growth and maturation over the past year. But before I dive into more details on these stories, let me tell you about another major development in the world of sports. The Dallas Cowboys have just announced a blockbuster trade, sending their star pass rusher to the... that's not correct either. Actually, it's about the NFL trade where star pass rusher it's actually about the trade of star pass rusher Marcel. Yes. The Dallas Cowboys have just announced a blockbuster trade, sending their star pass rusher to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a slew of draft picks and a promising young player. Well, it looks like I've got some more research to do on that one. In any case, we'll be diving into all these stories and more throughout the evening, so be sure to. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curall.
Thank you, Howard. First, we visited Tokyo, where the vibrant city's streets came alive with music and laughter as locals and tourists alike gathered to enjoy the annual Cherry Blossom Festival. Unfortunately, this story was not included in the provided text, so let's move on to the next one. Next, we reflected on the life and legacy of John Lennon, whose tragic death at the hands of Mark David Chapman continues to resonate with us today. As we marked another year since Chapman's parole was denied, we were reminded of the power of music to bring people together and transcend time. Finally, we traveled to Rome, where an ambitious initiative is underway to transform the River Tiber into a swimmable destination within the next 5 years. Under the visionary leadership of Mayor Roberto Gualtieri, the city is embarking on a comprehensive cleanup effort to make the river safe for public swimming, inspired by the success of similar projects in cities like Paris. These stories remind us that even in the face of challenges and tragedy, there is always hope for renewal and transformation. Whether it's the healing power of music or the determination of visionary leaders, we're constantly reminded of the extraordinary potential that lies within ordinary seeming places and people. Thank you for joining me on this journey around the world. Until next time, buonanotte and good night. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. Let's dive into a quick recap of our top stories tonight. First up, we've got Morgan Wallen making waves in country music. His collaboration with Tate McRae, What I Want, has been holding strong at #1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs and Country Streaming Songs charts for 16 consecutive weeks. But here's the twist. His own song I Got Better is rising through the ranks and competing with himself for the top spot. Next, we shone the spotlight on The Weeknd's decade-old tune, Tell Your Friends, which has finally become a bestseller in the UK. This album, cut from Beauty Behind the Madness, has debuted on 3 UK charts, solidifying The Weeknd's enduring legacy in the music industry. And finally, we took a closer look at Morgan Wallen's chart-topping success and what's behind his enduring appeal. With a career spanning multiple genres, he's captivated audiences across the board, blending country with pop and rock elements to become a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, can we talk? Indeed. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we reported on the alarming invasion of non-native species in our ecosystems, highlighting the case of an invasive species threatening native wildlife in a specific region. We explored the impact of human activities on the environment and the importance of conservation efforts to protect delicate balances. Secondly, we dove into the depths of the ocean, where researchers discovered 3 new species of snailfish in the eastern Pacific Ocean. These extraordinary creatures, found between 3,000 to 4,000 meters below the surface, showcase the incredible diversity of life on our planet and remind us of the importance of preserving the deep-sea ecosystem. Lastly, we talked about the remarkable fall hummingbird migration, where these tiny birds travel thousands of miles from North America to Central and South America. We discussed the science behind that journey, the role humans can play in supporting these birds through conservation efforts, and the significance of community engagement in understanding and protecting these avian wonders. These stories remind us of the awe-inspiring beauty and complexity of our natural world and the importance of taking action to preserve it for future generations. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of science and nature. Until next time, good night, and let's keep exploring. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.